They found her, hidden in the front trunk of a Tesla. Her name was Rachel Morin, and her story would shake an entire community. Rachel Morin was a 37-year-old mother of 5 from Harford County, Maryland. Friends described her as vibrant, kind, and passionate about hiking and nature. On the evening of August 5th, 2023, Rachel went for a jog on a local trail and never came back. When she failed to return home, her boyfriend reported her missing later that night. For weeks, her name spread across social media. People searched, hoping she was still alive. Then, far away in Los Angeles, police discovered something chilling: a Tesla parked in an underground garage. Inside its front trunk, a body. It was later confirmed to be Rachel Morin. The Tesla was registered to a musician known as D4VD, but he had no connection to Rachel. So, how did her body end up there? Forensic teams moved fast. They found traces of DNA under Rachel's nails, a clear sign she had fought back. They extracted skin cells and blood samples and began cross-referencing with national DNA databases. At the same time, digital investigators pulled GPS data from the Tesla, tracing its route from Maryland to California. Every charging station stop, every camera glimpse. The car's digital footprint was the silent witness. As investigators waded through an ocean of digital noise and dead-end leads, one signal began to pulse with alarming regularity. It wasn't a sudden breakthrough, but a slow, chilling realization, as disparate points on their evidence board began to connect. One name kept resurfacing in the data: Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez. Originally from El Salvador, Victor had entered the US illegally in early 2023, a ghost in the system. But he had left a scar. Authorities knew he was wanted for a violent home invasion and assault in Los Angeles, just a month after his arrival. He was previously investigated for other violent assaults, but had always managed to slip away, a phantom moving through the shadows. The key came from that Los Angeles crime scene. The DNA he left behind was uploaded to the National CODIS database. When analysts processed the DNA from Rachel's murder, the system flagged a familial match to a relative. This breakthrough allowed genetic genealogists to build a family tree, ultimately leading them to their man. A partial DNA match now linked him not only to the LA case, but to Rachel Morin's murder. With a name and a face, a nationwide manhunt was launched. Investigators tracked his movements through border crossings, phone pings, and surveillance cameras, reconstructing his path using a mosaic of digital breadcrumbs like ATM withdrawals and public tips. Each clue pulled him closer to the center of the storm, drawing the net tighter around a man with nowhere left to run. The search was a high-stakes race against time to capture a killer before he could strike again. The big break came through forensic genealogy, a new investigative tool using public DNA databases. The partial match from the crime scene was linked to Victor's distant relatives. That gave detectives enough ground for a warrant. When confronted, Victor denied knowing Rachel. But the Tesla's internal camera logs told another story. He had been inside the vehicle days before the disappearance. It was the moment when suspicion turned into certainty. The internet exploded. A mother, a Tesla, a suspect with a dark past. It had all the elements of a true crime storm. Hashtags like "Justice for Rachel" trended for weeks. Amateur detectives on Reddit and TikTok launched their own theories, some close to the truth, others wild speculation. The media focused on the sensational details, but behind the noise, a real family was grieving. The air in the courtroom was thick with anticipation. After 3 grueling days of deliberation, the jury filed back into the box. In April 2025, following a trial that had gripped the nation for months, the foreman stood. Victor Martinez Hernandez was found guilty of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. The judge handed down the maximum penalty, 2 consecutive life sentences plus an additional 40 years, ensuring Hernandez would never walk free again. In his sentencing, the judge condemned the crime as uniquely vicious, calculated, and cruel, pointing to the meticulous planning and the utter disregard for human life that defined Rachel's final hours. Across the room, a wave of raw emotion washed over Rachel's family. The words they'd waited 2 long years to hear finally echoed in the silent courtroom. Guilty on all counts. It was the moment they had fought for, the validation they had prayed for. Hernandez, however, remained impassive, staring straight ahead as his fate was sealed. He offered no apology, no flicker of remorse. But for many, including some investigators on the case, the verdict felt like an incomplete victory. While justice had been served, a shadow of doubt lingered. The prosecution had built an ironclad case against Hernandez, but they were never able to definitively answer one nagging question: did he act alone? The sheer logistics of transporting Rachel's body over 1,000 miles seemed a monumental task for one person. Whispers of a potential accomplice persisted, fueled by evidence like an untraceable burner phone used in the days following the murder. The case was officially closed, but the full story felt unfinished. The resolution of this case stands as a powerful testament to the relentless evolution of modern forensic science. It was a puzzle solved not with a single clue, but by weaving together disparate threads of data. Genetic genealogy, a revolutionary tool, sifted through the DNA of millions, tracing an ancestral line through generations until it pointed to one family, and ultimately, one man. Simultaneously, the vehicle Victor believed was his anonymous vessel was in fact a silent informant. Its onboard telematics system logged every turn and every stop, creating an undeniable digital timeline that placed him at the scene. But this victory for justice also casts an unsettling shadow, shattering the illusion of safety we find in familiar surroundings. This was a trail walked by families, a place of peace violently disrupted, a stark reminder of the vulnerability that can lie just beneath the surface of the mundane. The case forces us to confront a modern paradox. Every device we use for connection and convenience is also a chronicler of our movements. Our digital footprints, once ephemeral, now harden into a permanent record. Investigators acted as digital archaeologists, piecing together a story from cell tower pings, fitness app data, and social media timestamps, a ghost in the machine that can outlive our secrets. And yet, even with a conviction, nagging questions persist. The official narrative feels incomplete. Was Victor truly acting alone? Or do inconsistencies in his timeline and the unidentified forensic traces found a mile from the main scene suggest a second party who evaded the digital dragnet? What do you believe really happened that night? Is this case truly closed, or is there a deeper truth still buried? Share your theories in the comments below. Thank you for watching Digital Detective. Next episode, the live-streamed murder, when social media becomes the crime scene. Subscribe for more real investigations, powered by truth and technology.